the more impact we expect from these solutions, the more it's important that at enterprise level, it's about trusted AI. So I will start with you, Eiso, because again, software development is at the core of this additional digital transformation. How do we ensure that trusted AI space in your solution?
So in our solution, we really take the premise that as models are going to get increasingly more capable, we're going to want to provide them with increasingly more information and access to the data inside our enterprise. And as you mentioned, code is one of the most valuable and often also one of the most secured assets inside most large enterprises. And so what we do today with Poolside is that we deploy our system entirely behind the firewall of the customer. This includes the model, this includes the data layer, the intelligence layer, and it also includes the applications. What is quite unique about us and where we sit in the world is that we have what's called a first-party relationship with Amazon Web Services, something that they've only done several times in the history of their entire company, meaning that when a customer is bringing Poolside on board inside AWS, the world's largest cloud, they're not just getting it entirely in their environment secure behind their firewall, but also the contracting party on the other end is Amazon. And this allows for an additional layer of security and trust that actually has more to do not just with the boundary of the firewall, but also in terms of support, in terms of contractual guarantees. Because like you said at the beginning, we're a young company. We focused on enterprises from day zero, and we were aware at the scale at which we were rolling out, we were going to require a very large trusted party to be able to do so with us.
Thank you. I mean, obviously, some of these words are pretty technical. I appreciate for the audience. I hope this is clear. And I'll ask the same question to you, Rotem, because that's paramount for adoption.
So, as mentioned, I think first of all, adoption and trust are required in enterprises. We are also, as a solution, took a decision from the beginning to be able to run behind the customer's government VPC on-premise solutions in order to enable them to run and to reduce the trust gaps that we are seeing today in enterprises. The second thing that I want to mention, people took large language models in the past, and we are seeing it evolving in enterprise currently, and they try to put it in, to push it to a specific task. And then they understood that there are a lot of different components that are missing. If it's, for example, how we are able to, how we are creating a technology that says, I don't know how to solve it, something that is a huge problem with large language models, like hallucination is one of the consequences of that. So how I identify that the large language model doesn't know how to solve this problem? One problem. Second, role-based access control. How we are getting those agents to have access to different data. How the agents knows to send different questions that they don't know to humans. How we are able to run in on-premise environments and a lot of different things. How we are migrating data. A lot of different problems that we are seeing that requires a lot of different components. And that's why large language model, you can think about it as an engine of a car, but it's not a car. And enterprises not necessarily needs to deal with how to take an engine and build a car if they are not a car manufacturer in that case. And we want them to be able to take a car and customize it a bit, or even better in the case of artificial workforces, that the car will evolve automatically based on the enterprise needs and the enterprise questions in order to be able to execute in the best way. So in summary, AI, and especially when we are going to enterprise government mission-critical systems, it's not a one-component language model or any other foundational model. It's a much more complex platform that requires dozens of different components, and not necessarily, or even I'm always recommending not to do it, enterprise needs to build everything end-to-end. Tech companies need to do that. They need to push more in creating enterprise-grade solutions that providing this trust providing all the different components needed for the enterprise to be able to use the system in a better way. The last thing that I want to say, the tech is difficult. The tech is difficult, but it will be solved. There are a lot of very smart people that are working in order to solve the tech barriers today. And in my opinion, we'll get to human capabilities in almost every task that we are thinking about in the next 5 to 10 years. What is difficult today, even more than the tech, is the change management, is how we are bringing the technology to the people, how we are creating this trust. There is a lot of work there for the consulting firms, for different companies to see how we are able to close this gap between the current situation, we can call it the old software situation, to this new world of AI workforce that is collaborating together with humanity. And I would say that it's even more difficult than the tech part today.
Yeah, and that's definitely explaining the pace of adoption. It's driving that, and of course, we know that this is not only about tech solutions. At Capgemini, we're well placed, but this is about also training people, a cultural change, processes, it's about organization, so it's a transformation across the board. So one last question, which is a little bit more provocative possibly, at least for the tech industry. We start hearing that GenAI solutions have the potential with agents to replace vertical solutions in given industries, so Eiso, and disrupt the software as a solution, as a service industry itself, which is today the bulk of what we see used by our clients. So Eiso, what do you think about that? Is this going to happen? Is that possible?
I think software is going to continue to play a role, particularly in areas where we trust them to be systems of record. We have lots of SaaS software today that exists in the world. I think Salesforce, is a great example, ERP systems and others that are truly a system of record for our business. It's where our data lives, and it's where we're going to want to continue that data layer to exist. However, there is SaaS software out there today that is trying to mimic what the human workforce does. And those pieces of software are going to those companies are either going to grow with AI and move towards a world where they are offering agents that are going to be able to actually take on more and more of those tasks at a higher level of abstraction or objectives that are being given to them. Or they're going to fall behind. I think to say that the entirety of SaaS software goes away is unlikely. We are still going to want a lot of software to exist. I want my bank transaction to be done by deterministic software, not by an agent. But it is very true that a lot more software that will sustain the test of time is going to be bigger systems of record, combined with companies that are able to take advantage of these models and turn them into really useful agents that augment the existing workforce.
So to some extent, GenAI is also expected to disrupt the tech space itself and the software space in particular. So you see, nobody is immune from disruption, including the winners of today's market. So